Sac Jack YouTube edition. I'm Jack Ferris. He's Rob Sacre, Christian on the ones and twos. You know things are going right when Rob just doesn't watch the game.
No, not and I was getting updates at about the halftime. I had fifth grade basketball I had to coach.
Fifth grade
So
basketball matters, baby. Boy, does
fifth
it
grade
ever.
basketball matters. So I'm sorry I had to get updates for last night's game. But way to turn it around in the second half. I know
Well,
that for a fact.
I thought we'd do something a little different today and
Oh,
start with politics.
oh boy.
Maybe not so much politics, but
Rob has left the conversation.
yeah, maybe geopolitics.
Okay,
Like
where are we going with this?
world power rankings. I know in recent years a lot of Americans are bummed out that maybe we're losing our place as the superpower in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to get into internal affairs, so to speak. We're not going to get into domestic
Oh, a
issues.
dude came to me pissed at the store. I'm like, yo, wait, why are you, they're not giving us enough respect, damn it. I'm like,
Oh,
yo.
us being America? Us being America?
No, I'm talking about Zags. Comes to me and was pissed. Like bitching to me like hardcore that we weren't in the power rankings. But I'm sorry, go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off.
I'm talking
World.
US of A here, pal.
Oh yeah, I know.
So, maybe people are bummed. This isn't your father's America, and maybe other world powers have taken our place a little bit. And then you start looking around and you think, well, maybe some of these other world powers don't value human rights so much. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe they don't really value freedom of the press, so the information coming out of those countries isn't exactly reliable. And then you think, hey, maybe it's not so bad here in the US of A. That's
Dude,
what I think it's been to be a Zag fan in the last couple of weeks.
dude, I've been all over the world.
Way too much setup for an analogy of that's what.
Okay, well, listen, Christian, I was cut off in the middle by Rob's anecdote about being assaulted in a mini mart. You cut out that 2 minutes. It would have been streamlined a little bit more. I'm also not done. You look at these other so-called superpowers. North Carolina, preseason number 1, out of the top 25. Would not like to be partying at Chapel Hill right now. You look at Creighton basketball. Remember when Creighton was facing off against Arizona in Maui? And everyone was like, damn, Creighton and Arizona, this might be a Final Four preview. Creighton's lost 5 straight. Texas basketball. Texas kicked our ass 2 months ago, and they just lost their coach.
And the coach kicked his family members' ass.
You beat me to it.
Okay. Christian, now I will allow you to judge my analogy. Is it better now?
Well, I think the analogy is better if Jack, you are my boss. You are great. I love you. You're perfect at everything. I would have said that maybe the only thing you needed was just coming prepared with like Britain is North Carolina is the fading British Empire. Like this is like that kind of thing. But yeah,
well, that would have been way longer. That would have been longer. I was trying to get in and out.
No, I like where you're at. Everybody, like we said kind of last week, this is becoming a bar fight at 3 a.m. Everybody is down on the same level. Just
grunting and grinding.
This is This is sloppy, and somebody unexpected is going to be a national champion this year.
Who wins that? The least drunk guy at 3 a.m. The guy who has his wits about him enough. Not necessarily the biggest guy, not the strongest guy.
The bartender that calls the cops.
Now, where is Houston in this mix?
Houston's pretty sober at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say Houston's one of those things that it's like banging at the door. Like, hey, but Houston, let me in. I want to play.
Here's the thing that we talked about for years and years. I mean, it was our 4th season doing this thing. Houston is going to lose some luster in conference play, and then it's hard to ramp that up in the tournament. We've seen it happen to us a million times. So I'm not.
But don't they have UConn in their conference?
Yeah, and UConn's good. Okay, great. You know what though? I think what this preseason has taught us is we need to worry about our own house. We need to get our house in order. You know what I mean? We got Alabama coming up. We can measure ourselves to other programs because we're human beings and that's what we do. We measure ourselves to other people. But we need to look in the mirror and clean some stuff up. Is the ceiling there for a national championship? This is the 3rd straight show I brought this up. last week I said no. This week, maybe. I don't know. I mean, these are our point guard is what, 19 years old? Think about how long 4 months is for a 19-year-old. It's a long time. Remember back in school how long a semester was? You could do a lot of growth in a semester. So Nolan Hickman can get a lot better. Our supporting cast.
You have your half glass full tonight.
I don't know what it is about me today, Rob. Maybe it's just comparing myself to other people, but I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about it. I don't know.
That might be the most American of all the traditions. Just comparing yourselves to other people and feeling good about it.
I think that's the key. If you're going to be a Zag fan this year, just look at the other national powers. Everyone's struggling outside of Houston. But yeah, no. I looking around, I can't believe how some of the mighty have fallen compared to just 2 months ago. People were all over Creighton, and I liked Creighton too. Now they're at 500. They're 6-5.
The only thing I can say, and I agree with you, Creighton, I can't agree with, but the only one I can say with like the North Carolinas, they still do have better conference competition. Whereas we're going to go into conference and we're going to not play down to their level, but play with the LMUs and Pepperdines.
I don't know, dude. We might lose to Portland.
What?
Tough. Portland.
Wait, hold on. I don't know what bet I got out of today.
Mark my words. What is it? The 13th of December, 2022. RIP Mike Leach. When do we play Portland? Gonzaga basketball schedule. We will, if we don't lose the game at Portland, we will win by single digits. That is my promise to you. When is that game? Oh, it's late. It's January 28th. It's a late one.
Dang. That's not too far away, boys. 2 more weeks, 2.5 more weeks, and we're in the new year.
Not too far away. Not too far away is the game in Birmingham, battling Alabama. The tables have turned again just in the last 6 weeks. This looked like Alabama would have a chance to knock off, the number 1 team, the number 2 team, the number 3 team in the nation, just like they did last year. Now it's an opportunity for us to knock off the number 4 team in the nation. So now
the roles reversed.
The roles reversed. We go into Birmingham and play spoiler like they came into Seattle to embarrass us. How do you feel about that?
I'm with it.
Good.
I would be curious basketball wise, given that I know the least about basketball out of the 3 of us and probably anybody that's ever been employed by a basketball podcast.
We make a lot of shit up. Go ahead.
But, Rob, you talk about punching down and the conference schedule being a little bit weaker. For this team, though, we're talking about they need to gel. They need to, figure themselves out and grow a little. After the tough early season and taking their lumps, is having a string of winnable games what you need to get maybe the confidence. You learn the toughness, then you get you just want.
I think iron sharpens. Here's the thing. I agree that we've had a tough preseason. Absolutely. But then mentally, I feel like we go into a coast mode when we go into the WCC.
Potential false confidence.
So granted, the WCC is great to get wins and feel good. And but whereas the difference between us and North Carolina is, they got knocked out of the 25, but they're going to have like some character building games throughout their conference play. And right at the right time, it always happens. Like you'll hear a team out of the ACC that you haven't heard about all year. And then they just grind it out through their conference tournament. And all of a sudden they're like a 5th seed in the tournament. And you're like, where did they come from? And then all of a sudden they just get to like the Sweet 16 Elite 8 based on they've had to get through their trials, all their trials and all their real. It's too early for me right now.
Tribulations
right now. And I think you learn so much more, and then you can use that. Whereas what I feel like what happens for us is we get our trials and tribulations early in the season, and I've said this 100 times on this podcast, but we've done this, like we get it done so early. Then by the time we're ready to get into conference, we're like, let me let my hair down for a bit, breathe for a second. And then all of a sudden we get back into the tournament and bam, holy shit, trials and tribulations again.
I let my hair down, feeling zag as hell. If you're looking for
I was going the opposite way there, and I was just gonna say I need a shirt with Rob Sacre's face that says just trials and tribulations.
Yeah,
trials and it's too damn early.
Yeah, those are my tribulations right now.
Rob, if you're looking for a litmus test against Houston, Alabama just beat Houston on Saturday.
They did
71-65. So yeah, I mean,
it's anyone's game. This whole I think Christian said it maybe 2 weeks ago. The parity in basketball is probably
fantastic this year.
I think it might be the closest it's ever been in college basketball.
As a person who, for me, my fandom is just kind of spread across the country. This is great. You cannot turn on a game and find a bad, prime
Syracuse you can, but what do I know?
Hey,
right?
No. Look, Boeheim re-won his 1,000th game. So it's been a hallmark year this year.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, but as mentioned, I think there are a couple of sober guys at the bar. In getting back to the 3 a.m. bar fight analogy,
I'll give you the top 5, and you tell me.
Give me the sober guys. Give me the sober guys.
Well, no, I'm giving you just the top 5 in the nation.
It's not Texas. I'll tell you that.
Give me their blood alcohol content. What is Purdue's BAC?
Purdue's sober. Purdue's a designated driver. Purdue's not driving home. Or Purdue is driving home.
Virginia, Purdue's sitting in the Escalade outside waiting to just drive people to the hospital.
Virginia is taking it easy because they have a big day tomorrow, but they're also a lightweight. So if they have 1 or 2, they can.
I was going to say Virginia's the sneak drunk that comes to the bar with his own bottle underneath his coat,
but it's something nice.
Really wanting to pay, but we'll just have a little sip here and there.
Also, yeah, they go from being totally coherent to like peeing down their leg, and you're like, what happened to you? I didn't even did Virginia even drink?
They're still, but they look normal. They just look like normal. They can't even
stand up.
Can I insert 30-second Phil about the story of just the weirdest thing I've ever seen as a sports person was going to a football game at the University of Virginia. My year in grad school out at Syracuse, UCLA was playing at Virginia. Figured that's close enough. I'll take a cool little road trip. I show up there. I had hit up some people at the Sigma Chi house at Virginia and thought like, all right, perfect. I'm a Sigma Chi. Like, it'll be a great little landing spot for me. I show up in tank top, basketball shorts with a 30 of Keystone. Everybody is in collared shirt and tie. Yeah. Women are in full dresses. They are sipping rum and cokes. Took me about 2 minutes to realize, not the vibes. I need to go in the parking lot and find. Yeah, no, the weirdest thing, seeing women in full length dress and guys in shirt and ties for a noon football game.
And boat shoes.
Hottest culture ever.
Boat shoes on the guys. No doubt.
UConn, how about their sobriety?
UConn is drinking, but UConn grew up with older brothers, so they can hold their alcohol pretty good.
I was going to say UConn was tough back in the day. So they're just kind of using that like, hey, I'm just trying to figure myself. This is the first time I've been out in a while, and I haven't had my drinks. And so I'm just trying to figure things out. But back in the day, they were so tough. They have this aura around them that no one really wants to fuck with.
UConn has something to prove. And you know what? UConn's mad. UConn's upset. And that translates well when you're drunk. So UConn's definitely drinking, but I'd be careful.
Gonzaga's next opponent, the University of Alabama.
See, it depends. Like one game, or we're keeping it in the bar, right? What is Alabama?
Alabama's the guy who kicks through the door and goes yeehaw and just starts swinging.
Alabama's drinking. Alabama's drinking the fruity rum novelty cocktails. When they taste good, they taste really good. When they're bad, they're awful, and it's a hangover the next day. When they're hitting threes, they're unbelievable. When they're not, they're very, very bad. Alabama is drinking things with tiny little umbrellas in their drinks.
Let's close this out with the University of Tennessee. Their sobriety level.
Damn, Tennessee. I think Tennessee started day drinking. Maybe they hit a brunch and they were a little sloppy early in the afternoon, but then they took a nap. And I think Tennessee's just now making it back out to the bar.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, we've kind of lost the narrative on this metaphor, but I think this could be its own weekly show. Just Jack making drunk metaphors about each team.
Yeah.
I'm with you that this seems like everybody, like we just did, the top 5 or 6 teams, everybody has a narrative and everybody has a path where you could say like, yeah, this is our rationale behind how that team winds up in at least the Final Four. It's nuts.
I just think, out of that group though, we've talked about it. I try to, jump on the Purdue bandwagon in the sense of like, I think they have something really special this year, but that's typical Purdue. You never they have something every 5 years all the time. And then you never hear anything about them.
Yeah. But you look around, you'd like to say conventional wisdom would tell you they're going to get beat up in Big Ten play. Big Ten kind of sucks right now.
Right.
Big Ten is not the Big Ten of old. It looks like in the AP, the next Big Ten team is Indiana at 14, just ahead of us. And then it's Big Ten heavy. Illinois at 18, Maryland 20, Wisconsin 22, Ohio State 23. So a big difference as far as national perception goes, as far as blood alcohol level goes.
Are you guys at the point yet where you're doing the math on who you want to who do you want to be in the region with or anything like that?
No. Come on, settle down, Christian.
I thought about looking up the Joe Lunardi stuff, but
is that you in the background yelling, "Shut up, nerd"?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
For those of you listening and not on YouTube, what are you doing? A, B. This week's, it's like we're watching Rob's
grow up.
Rob's actual life. We went from a Gonzaga player to a Laker player, or was that inverse?
I think
we go Lakers to Zags last.
Every week it's the vibe. It's the different vibe. This is the vibe that the team gets.
Yeah.
This is me yelling at people.
Yeah. Right now the vibe is like, hey guys, you got to keep it up. Got to keep it up.
I just feel bad for the guy in front of me.
Yeah.
Look at his face. Look at the guy in the beard in front of me. Just like, oh boy.
Guy in front of you, McCarthy, is not pleased with his seat. At least he's in front of you and not behind you. Do you still feel bad at gatherings, concerts, Rob, when you as a 7-footer are in front of somebody?
I do not. If it's a concert, depending on how the concert vibe is, I try not to stand. If they're just like, I think Sublime I went to, I just sat down and enjoyed the vibes and didn't really have to stand up or anything like that. But I kind of respect the people behind me. Huh?
Sublime with Rome or just Sublime?
Oh, the new singer.
The original singer's been dead for a cool 30 years, I think.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know what he was. I'm not a big Sublime guy.
Fair enough. They're everywhere here in San Diego. You can't.
Well, of course. You just walk down any waterfront store and they're like playing Sublime in there. Come buy a T-shirt, man.
Fun fact: who's the original lead singer of Sublime, Christian?
Oof, I just know them as the 2 iterations being the one with the other guy. Let me look it up.
So he OD'd and died in a San Francisco hotel, but he got his heroin earlier that evening, in my hometown of Petaluma. Credit to Petaluma on having really heavy heroin. You guys can't see, but I'm going to show you now. I'm wearing my
Feliz Navidad.
That's a 10 out of 10 right there.
Hold on. I'm
going to soon see Jack's nipples here in a minute.
We go.
Oh, Bulldog. Oh.
We got the Zag deal going. Feliz Navidad, dog.
How'd you wind up with that?
You got to know some people.
You got to know some people. It was actually a gift. I said it around somebody. I was like, oh, I would love to have a Zag ugly Christmas sweater. And I got a knock on the door a couple weeks later. It's good to have friends.
Yeah.
Let's get you one next year that has Dick Al, Morrison, and Sacre on it.
That's a combination.
Faces
that sounds like the beginning of a joke.
Wait, Can we do, maybe we should do, Rob, maybe we should do like a nativity scene with a bunch of classic Zags around with few as Mary or few as baby Jesus.
And Roni would be Roni
would Shimmick, be a shepherd.
No, Roni, Shimmick, and there's one more I got to think of. Would be the three wise men.
We're talking like a big. How about like Kelly?
No, they don't have. He doesn't have a beard. I'm just thinking of all those guys with beards. They look like three wise men.
Okay, well we can workshop this. Who would you be?
Manger? Is it Adam?
Maybe it's Spike. You got Ravio. Maybe it's Spike. Derek Ravio in the manger.
I kind of like the idea of Spike, or maybe Spike is just like a sheep. All the sheeps are bulldogs.
Yep, I like that one.
Is Few Joseph or Mary?
I'll be Joseph. But if I was Joseph, I'm questioning. I'm having a lot of questions that need to be answered.
I think that's biblically and historically accurate.
All right, closing out shop here. These episodes are a little tighter for longer stuff. Check out we didn't do it this week, and we probably won't do it next week. It's probably going to be in the new year once conference play starts, because it's hard to do a show on Tuesday and then another show on Thursday, Friday when we haven't played another game. Game coming up on Saturday. So stick with us. Content coming your way. Any other thoughts on Chris Beard? I don't want to get too weird on you guys.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Any thoughts on Mike Leach?
R.I.P. I literally, right before this podcast came on, I was scrolling and I'm like, wait, he died? He just got put in the hospital.
Yeah, he went to the hospital Sunday night. All day Monday was critical condition. And then, breaking news Tuesday morning. R.I.P. Sad one.
Yeah, him and Grant Wall this week, both really large people in respective sports that we lost.
Whoa.
The Grant Wall thing is
there's
fishy.
There's layers to that. But just in
that
general,
is quite
lost
fishy.
A lot of good people in sports this week.
Speaking of USA as a superpower, maybe we need to do some investigating into how Grant Wall died. I didn't realize Mike Leach was only 61. I would have assumed he was closer to 70.
No way. Yeah, he's younger he just looks older.
He's looked like shit for 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the
key? Stress of being a head coach does that to you. Oh.
Wasn't that what, Christian?
I was gonna say, isn't that the key to aging? Is just either look when you as soon as you're 35, look 70, so that everyone kind of misjudges you and you look old forever, so no one really knows.
Big time smart move. All time smart move. Sac Jack on the YouTube. He's Christian. I'm Jack. He's Rob. Rob, do you have something for us, or do we do that on YouTube?
We don't do it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, no. For all your Robisms, you're gonna have to listen to the actual real podcast. Christian, do you have anything?
Just be happy, guys.
Is that your Christian voice
of me?
Just
hey
be
there,
happy.
Guys.
Hey, San Diego State's awesome. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, God, no. No. Look, man. I'm becoming more and more of a Zag person, and I think it's cool to see this. Like I said, this year's a little bit of a bar fight, but I will close out with I'm the flip of Rob. I think that this team's going to get into conference play, and they will get some chance to actually just execute and get on the court together and get some confidence. And I think stringing together a bunch of blowout wins against insert WCC opponent here is going to actually be really good for this team.
We shall see. Hopefully you're right. Until then, suck it, Bama.
I like it.
I'm going to go Photoshop up that manger scene with a bunch of faces.